Здравствуйте, сейчас я буду читать книгу Mr. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Excellent, he said. Now let's visit the bank and see if they recognize this Jekyll book. Sure enough, the bank held several £1,000 in an account in the name of Edward Hyde. We've got him now, sir, said the inspector. We've got the murder weapon and we've got his Jekyll book. Now, we only need his description on the wanted notices. This was not so easy. There were no photographs of the wanted man and no two people could agree about his appearance. They all agreed on one thing, however. An evil man, sir, the servant girl said. You could see it in his face. Later that same afternoon, Mr. Utterson found his way to Dr. Jekyll's house. Jekyll's servant, Polly, let him in at once and took him through the kitchen and across the back garden to the laboratory behind the house. It was the first time that Mr. Utterson had seen his friend's laboratory, and he looked around curiously. The old servant led Mr. Utterson through the laboratory and up some stairs to the doctor's private study above. This was a large room with tall glass-fronted cupboards, a large mirror and a big business-like table. A good fire burned in the fireplace, and beside it sat Dr. Jekyll, looking white and ill. In a thin, tired voice, he welcomed his friend. Have you heard the news? Said Mr. Utterson after the old servant had left. The newsboys were shouting about it in the street, Dr. Jekyll said. A terrible business. Let me ask you something, said the lawyer. Sir Danvers Carroll was my client, but you are my client too, and I want to know what I'm doing. You haven't tried to hide the murderer, have you? Utterson, I promise you, cried the doctor. I promise you I'll never see him again. I've finished with him forever. And now, indeed, he no longer needs my help. You don't know him like I do. He's safe, quite safe. Believe me, nobody will ever hear of Hyde again. The lawyer listened with a serious face. He didn't like his friend's feverish, excited look. You seem very sure of him, he replied. I hope you are right. If he is caught and comes to trial, your name may be mentioned. I'm absolutely sure of him, answered Jekyll. I can't tell you how I know, but I'm certain. But can you please advise me about one thing? I have received a letter and I don't know whether to show it to the police. Police? May I leave it in your hands, Utterson? You are afraid, I suppose, that the letter will lead the police to Hyde? Asked the lawyer. No, said Dr. Jekyll. I don't care what happens to Hyde. I was thinking of my own reputation. Anyway, here is the letter. It was written in a strange pointed handwriting and signed Edward Hyde. I'm sorry that I have been so ungrateful in the past for your many generous acts. It began. Please don't worry about me. I'm quite safe and I'm certain that I can escape unharmed whenever I wish. Did this letter come by post? Asked the lawyer. No, replied Dr. Jekyll. There was no postmark on the envelope. The letter came by hand. Shall I keep the letter and think about it? Asked Mr. Utterson.